sperrt die Straße. Unsere Panzerkampfwagen haben die fliehenden Feindkolonnen erreicht. Tod und Verderben bricht über die Sowjets herein.
To keep productions clean, M45 generally stays clear of sponsors, but this is a special case. This new series will focus on this book, produced by Stackpole Publishing, which contains 600 translated letters and diary entries from German soldiers who were fighting on the Eastern Front in 1941, and they're brutally honest. This first video covers a letter written by Private Hans Roth, who served in the 299th Infantry Division in an anti-tank detachment. He describes what he saw in the battle for Kiev in September of 1941. At the end of the video, M45 will let you know which of the letters will be produced next, so that you can follow along from the book. Using rare film footage from the Battle of Kiev, we'll follow Hans's letter, which includes sensational descriptions of the extensive Soviet defenses. You'll get an overview of the entire operation from part of a Deutsche Wochenschau newsreel. At the end of this video, I'll add a link to a series that goes into the details of this operation, and I'll let you know where you can get the Soldiers of Barbarossa collection at a nice discount, so stick around. It's worth it. Am frühen 19. September drangen wir. Early on September 19th, we penetrated the heavily armed outer ring of the city. The enemy, by far not as strong as we'd assumed, was defeated in bloody close combat. By 0900 hours, we had already reached the western part of the city. The Reds had quit their attempts at heavy street fighting. At the same time, strong assault parties attacked the citadel from the direction of Lysa-Hora, and by 1100 hours, Nazi swastikas were raised there. By noon, we are in the center of the city. No shots are heard. The wide streets and squares are abandoned. It's eerie. The silence is making us nervous, because it's hardly believable that such a large city has fallen into our hands in such a short amount of time. What does this western defense line, which Budenny depended upon just like the French did with the Maginot Line, look like? It's not a common line of bunkers, no. It's a collection of diabolical resources which can only be conceived by the brain of a paranoiac. I will try and describe some of these horrific death zones that we passed through while intensely fighting on September 17th, 18th, and 19th. To the rear of Gatnoja, there are fields of cooperatives, vast vegetable farms. They lie there harmlessly in the sun. Who would believe that hiding among those plants is the most horrific death? A high-voltage current. Atop the vegetation is a webbing of fine-caliber wire the length of several kilometers. This rests on thin, isolated metal poles, which are all painted green, a deadly net of high current, which is run by a power plant in a bunker. It is so well camouflaged that we recognize it, unfortunately, much too late, only after a continued accumulation of losses. Then there are the Devil's Ditches, lined up in great depth, several hundred meters long. They are mined, and when a single landmine is tripped, entire fields, which are connected underground by detonation channels, explode. At the same time, water pipes explode and rapidly flood the area 2 meters deep. There are even a few more goodies that happen to be just lying around, seeming random objects that are interesting to every soldier. Watches, packs of cigarettes, pieces of soap, etc. Each of these objects is connected to a hidden detonator. If the soldier picks any of these objects up, he starts the ignition and detonates a mine or an entire minefield. In this category also belong well-hidden tripwires, which cause contact mines to explode. These monsters jump up 3/4 of a meter and explode. There are other areas where hidden among tripwires are thousands of knife-sharp steel spikes, which are poisoned and cause the injured to die a horrible death 10 minutes later. All of the defensive belts are littered with automatic flamethrowers, which are activated by pressure. Well, just imagine, among all these devilish things there are the normal battle installations. 2-story bunkers, automatic weapons stands, ditches, kilometers of barbed wire, tank barriers, in addition to the normally mined streets and paths. Add to that infantry mines, booby traps, band mines, and vehicle mines. And now, just imagine, this whole hellish apparatus during combat. This is their defense against our attack. Mine dogs. We shot about a dozen of these, along near Shulyani. The animals carry a device with explosives on their back. According to a prisoner who had trained these dogs, they are made to attack tanks and other vehicles with their load of 3 kilos of explosives. And now, here's an overview of the operation that resulted in a huge encirclement of Soviet troops in the vicinity of Kiev.
Die bisher größte Umfassungsschlacht an der Ostfront entwickelte sich im Raume.
To this point, the largest battle of encirclement on the Eastern Front took place to the east of Kiev. It led to the destruction of 4 Soviet armies. The immense pinchers of the envelopment that developed during the massive attack came from the area around Smolensk in the north and from the lower Dnieper in the south. The German armored forces, being led by generals Guderian from the north and von Kleist from the south, thrust forwards, encircled the Soviet armies, and then secured the pocket's perimeter to the east. This removed all possible lines of Soviet retreat. Here is the massive area of this battle of encirclement. Being attacked from all sides, the 4 entrapped Soviet armies were compacted together gradually, losing their ability to maneuver. Finally, in the area of this small triangle, they were destroyed. Hans Roth's next letter, written on September 25th as the 299th, was occupying Kiev, will be covered in the second video in the series. His premonition of what lay in store for the German Wehrmacht is exceptional. If you'd like to get the collection at a nice price and follow along with the video series, the pinned comment below contains a link. And if you'd like to follow the SS Division Reich during this operation, click here. Patreon members get regular access to exclusive film footage. You can open a free account on military1945.com and see some example footage. Thanks for watching.